Her heart sank when she noticed her wedding ring was missing, and his unexpected reaction changed everything. Before we dive into tonight's story, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell button like you're ringing for room service at a 5-star hotel. Trust me, you won't want to miss what we've got cooking. Emily and James had been married for 5 years, and their lives had settled into a comfortable routine. They had their ups and downs like any couple, but their love for each other remained strong. Their wedding rings symbolized their commitment and the promises they had made on their wedding day, so when Emily discovered her ring was missing one morning, her heart sank. It was a typical Saturday morning, and Emily was getting ready for their usual weekend outing. She glanced down at her hand and froze. The familiar gleam of her wedding ring was absent. Panic set in as she frantically searched the bedroom, the bathroom, and the kitchen. She retraced her steps from the day before, trying to remember where she might have taken it off, but her mind was blank. "James," she called, her voice trembling with anxiety. "Have you seen my wedding ring?" James, who was reading the newspaper in the living room, looked up and saw the distress on her face. He immediately put down the paper and walked over to her. "What happened?" "I can't find my ring," Emily said, her eyes welling up with tears. "I've looked everywhere." James wrapped his arms around her, pulling her into a comforting hug. "It's okay, Emily. We'll find it. Let's think about where you last had it." Emily took a deep breath, trying to calm herself. "I always take it off when I do the dishes. I remember putting it on the kitchen counter yesterday, but after that, I'm not sure." They searched the kitchen thoroughly, checking every nook and cranny, but there was no sign of the ring. Emily's panic grew, and she felt a wave of guilt wash over her. How could she have been so careless with something so precious? James sensed her distress and gently took her hand. "Emily, we'll find it. And even if we don't, it's just a ring. Our love and commitment aren't tied to a piece of jewelry." His words were comforting, but Emily couldn't shake the feeling of loss. The ring was a symbol of their marriage, and its absence felt like a bad omen. "I know, but it means so much to me," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. James kissed her forehead. "I understand. Let's keep looking. Maybe it fell somewhere else in the house." They spent the entire morning searching every room, moving furniture and checking under cushions. By lunchtime, they were both exhausted and no closer to finding the ring. Emily's frustration turned into despair, and she felt tears welling up again. Seeing her distress, James decided they needed a break. "Let's go out for lunch. We'll clear our heads and then come back with fresh eyes." Reluctantly, Emily agreed. They went to their favorite cafe, and over lunch, James did his best to distract her with stories and jokes. Gradually, Emily started to relax, and she realized how lucky she was to have such a supportive husband. After lunch, they returned home and resumed their search. As the afternoon turned into evening, Emily's hope began to fade. She sat down on the couch, feeling defeated. "James, what if we never find it?" James sat beside her and took her hand. "Emily, the ring is a symbol, but it doesn't define our love. What we have is much more than a piece of jewelry. We'll keep looking, but no matter what, our bond remains unbroken." His words resonated with Emily, and she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew James was right. Their love and commitment were far more significant than any material object. "Thank you, James. I needed to hear that." They decided to take a break from searching and spent the rest of the evening relaxing together. They watched a movie, talked about their plans, and simply enjoyed each other's company. Emily felt a renewed sense of gratitude for James and their life together. The next morning, Emily woke up with a sense of determination. She decided to search one more time, focusing on areas they might have missed. As she was checking the laundry room, she heard James call out from the living room. "Emily, come here." She rushed to the living room, her heart pounding. James was standing by the couch holding something small and shiny in his hand. "Look what I found," he said, grinning. Emily's eyes widened as she saw her wedding ring glinting in the sunlight. "Oh my gosh, where did you find it?" "It was wedged between the couch cushions," James explained. "I must have missed it when we checked yesterday." Overwhelmed with relief and joy, Emily threw her arms around James. "Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't believe you found it." James chuckled, hugging her tightly. "I told you we'd find it." Emily slipped the ring back onto her finger, feeling a rush of emotions. She looked at James, her eyes filled with gratitude and love. "You were right, James. The ring is just a symbol. What matters most is our love and commitment to each other." James smiled, his eyes twinkling with affection. "Exactly. And nothing can ever take that away." They spent the rest of the day celebrating their little victory. They went for a walk in the park, enjoyed a picnic, and talked about their future dreams and plans. Emily felt a renewed sense of appreciation for James and their relationship. The experience had brought them even closer, reminding them of what truly mattered. In the weeks that followed, Emily made a conscious effort to be more mindful of her ring, but she also carried with her the lesson she had learned. Material objects could be lost or replaced, but the love and commitment she shared with James were irreplaceable. One evening, as they were sitting on the porch, watching the sunset, Emily turned to James and said, "Thank you for being so understanding and supportive, James. Losing the ring made me realize how lucky I am to have you." James took her hand, his touch gentle and reassuring. "I'm lucky to have you too, Emily. Our love is what matters most, and I'll always be here for you." Emily smiled, her heart full of love for her husband. "I love you, James." "I love you too, Emily," James replied, pulling her into a warm embrace. As they sat together, watching the sky change colors, they felt a deep sense of contentment. The experience of losing and finding the ring strengthened their bond and reminded them of the importance of their love and commitment. In the years that followed, Emily and James continued to support each other through the ups and downs of life. They faced challenges together, celebrated their successes, and always made time for each other. Their love grew stronger with each passing day, and they never forgot the lesson they had learned from the lost wedding ring. One day, as they were reminiscing about their early years together, Emily brought up the incident. "Remember when I lost my wedding ring and we spent an entire weekend searching for it?" James laughed, nodding. "How could I forget? That was quite an adventure." Emily smiled, her eyes twinkling with fond memories. "It was. And it taught me so much about our love and commitment. I'm grateful for that experience." James took her hand, his touch warm and reassuring. "Me too, Emily. It reminded us of what truly matters." As they looked back on their journey together, they felt a deep sense of gratitude for the love they shared. The lost wedding ring had been a turning point, a reminder of the strength of their bond and the importance of cherishing each other. And as they looked to the future, they knew that no matter what challenges they faced, they would face them together, with love, support, and a deep commitment to each other's happiness and fulfillment.